The night sky above Leora Prime glowed with the soft shimmer of its twin moons, yet not a single citizen dared step outside. The streets were empty, the towers dark, and the plazas silent. Only the central citadel still held signs of life, and even there, the flicker of lanterns trembled as if afraid. For weeks, the people of Leora had lived in fear. For weeks they had prayed. Their prayers rose into the night, echoed through the void, and carried desperate pleas toward any power that might hear. They had hoped for guardians. They had hoped for saviors. Instead, something else answered Dot inside the Citadel throne hall. The Queen of Leora stood with her hands pressed together. Her breath trembled, though she tried to hide it from her council. At her side stood her daughter, a young royal who still possessed the bright curiosity of her youth. The girl clung to her mother's robe as distant thunder rolled over the horizon. It was not real thunder. It was the march of invaders. The enemy known as the Grun marched with heavy armored feet that cracked the crystalline plains surrounding the city. Their machines had already swallowed half the kingdom. Their fleets hovered above the clouds with metallic wings shaped like blades. No plea for peace had reached them. No treaty had slowed them. The Lyrans were a gentle people, artists of light and air, and no fighter among them stood a chance against the armies that came for their world. Queen raised her voice so her council could hear. Her tone held the quiet strength she had kept through every trial. Even though despair hung at the edge of her words, "We have sent our signal to the sky." She paused as another vibration shook the citadel floor. "We prayed to the ancient network, calling for aid. If any civilization beyond our stars heard us, they shall come." Her general lowered his head. "Your Highness, forgive me, but we have no reason to believe they will. The old network is only legend. Even if it activates, any response would arrive too late." A murmur passed across the council. Then the princess tugged at her mother's sleeve. Her eyes were bright. "Someone will come. Someone must." The queen gave her a soft smile. "I hope so, my child." Before anyone could reply, a guard rushed into the hall. His armor rattled, and his voice cracked with awe and fear. "Your Highness, the sky has opened." The queen's heart froze. She hurried to the balcony with her council close behind. When she reached the railing, she saw it. A tier of white fire had opened in the heavens above the city. Twisting energy bled from a shape that had not been there moments ago. It was not a fleet. It was not a grand armada. It was a single vessel Dot. It was small compared to the ships of the Grun, and shaped unlike any craft the queen had ever seen. Plates of metal folded over each other at strange angles. Engines glowed on its back, like the eyes of some predator. Even from afar, its surface looked scarred by countless battles. The general spoke first. "That design is ancient, primitive, nothing close to our energy ships." Another council member whispered, "Could it be a pirate vessel?" "No." The queen shook her head. "It came through the sky tier. That path opens only for those who answer the network." The craft descended with a slow, deliberate grace. It settled upon the plaza with a heavy thud that echoed across the silent city. Dust rose. The engines died. Every Leoran stood frozen. Then a hatch opened. From the darkness inside stepped a group of figures. They were tall, not armored like the Grun, though each wore rugged suits of hardened cloth reinforced with strange plating. Their boots struck the ground with confidence rather than hesitation. Their posture radiated readiness, danger, and purpose. The queen felt an instinctive chill. "Who are they?" whispered her daughter. The tallest of the newcomers stood at the front. His face was bare, his eyes sharp, his expression calm in a way that seemed unnatural for someone stepping onto a foreign world. His jaw held a slight scar. His brow carried years of storms. His voice rang out with a steadiness that silenced even the wind. "We heard your call." The queen stepped forward, heart pounding. If you heard it, then you know our fate. Will you help us? He nodded once. That is why we are here. Another newcomer stepped beside him, a woman with short hair and a steel gaze. She scanned the surroundings as if assessing every detail. These invaders of yours, she said, where are they located now? The general stepped forward. Their main force approaches the capital through the southern passage. Their machines number in the thousands. The tall man nodded. Good, the general blinked. Good. The man answered with the calmness of someone who had already measured the odds and dismissed them as irrelevant. We have handled worse. The queen found her voice. May we know your people? What world do you come from? For the first time, the tall man smiled, though it was not a gentle smile. It was the smile of someone familiar with chaos. We are from Earth. The word meant nothing to the Lyrans, but the tone in which he said it stirred unease. Something predatory lay beneath those syllables. Something ancient. We fight so others do not fall, the woman added. And we do not lose. The queen exchanged looks with her council. Something about these humans felt feral. They stood not as heroes, but as warriors shaped by countless battles. Their scars told stories the Lyrans could not imagine. Still, they were the only hope the kingdom had left. The man raised a device to his mouth. Team, move out. Prepare the barricade grid. His crew scattered with speed. They unloaded crates, deployed strange machines, and took positions around the plaza. Every movement was swift, practiced, and precise. The queen turned to the tall man. What should we call you? He answered without hesitation. Call me Grant. A simple name, plain. Yet the weight behind it felt heavy. Soon the ground trembled again. The Grun were close. Grant lifted his weapon, a long device of metal and energy that hummed with restrained force. You should return to the citadel, he said to the queen. We wish to stand with you? He shook his head. If you stand here, you will die. The princess stepped forward. Why are you not afraid? Grant's gaze softened for a brief moment. Because fear is a tool. We carry it. We use it. But it does not command us. The princess nodded, though she did not fully understand. The queen pulled her daughter toward the entrance. Before leaving, she turned back to Grant. Warriors of Earth, she said, if you defend our world, our people will owe you our future. Grant's eyes hardened. Then protect that future. Let us handle the rest. The queen fled inside as the plaza lights brightened. Grant's team took positions. The southern horizon erupted with metallic shapes as the Grun marched into view. Their commander, a towering armored brute, stepped ahead of the machines. Its voice cracked through the plaza. Leora Prime will fall. Surrender now. Grant walked forward with the calmness of a storm. This world is under protection. The commander tilted its head. By what army? Grant responded with the quiet certainty of a man who did not need an army. By ours. The commander let out a low rumble of amusement. Your numbers are few. Your weapons inferior. Grant lifted his rifle. Try us. The Grun charged. The first wave of machines rolled forward. Grant's team unleashed a barrage of fire that tore through their ranks. Blue energy collided with metal. Sparks exploded. Machines fell in heaps of twisted steel. Grant moved like a predator unleashed. He advanced without fear, firing precise bursts that sliced through armor. Every shot carried intent. Every step held purpose. He fought not as a soldier, but as something far more dangerous. His crew fought with equal skill. The woman with short hair vaulted atop a fallen machine and fired into enemy lines with flawless rhythm. Another member hurled a compact device that detonated in a shock of controlled force, sending an entire squadron of Grun tumbling backward. From the citadel balcony, the queen and her daughter watched in awe. Their jaws hung open, as they saw the humans stand against an army many times their size. The princess whispered, "They fight like demons." The queen shook her head slowly. "No, they fight like men who have seen terror and risen above it." Below, Grant leapt from a broken barricade, rolled across the ground, and fired a pulse that shattered the commander's shoulder plating. The massive grun roared. Its roar was answered by Grant's steady steps. "You think your world will survive," the commander snarled. "We have conquered hundreds." Grant's voice cut through the air with chilling clarity. "Earth has buried thousands." The commander lunged. Grant dodged with ease, using the momentum to slide beneath the creature. He fired upward, striking its exposed joints. Sparks burst. Metal cracked. The commander staggered. Grant rose behind it, swung his weapon like a staff, and slammed the end into the back of the creature's neck. It fell to its knees. Grant placed the barrel against its helm. "You threaten children." He pulled the trigger. The commander collapsed with a heavy crash. The rest of the grun faltered. Without their leader, confusion spread. Grant's team exploited the moment. Within minutes, the enemy forces retreated, their machines dragging damaged parts across the plain. A cheer rose from the citadel towers. Citizens poured into the streets. For the first time in weeks, hope flooded the air. Grant lowered his rifle as his crew regrouped. The queen approached him, breathless. "You saved us." Grant wiped dust from his gloves. "Your people fought long before we arrived. We only finished the job." The princess stepped forward. She looked up at the man with a mix of admiration and fear. "You are not what we expected," she said. "You are not gentle." Grant knelt so they were eye level. He spoke softly.